Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise, it's the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we got some more confirmation of what the Most High has already been showing me for these last couple weeks. Talking about, as we grow, as we get more knowledge to understand, as the Most High blesses us with knowledge, regained here at the end, that the Gentiles and the other nations, they, lose it more and more. And it just proves that there is no going back. They're even admitting that there's no going back to the way things were, and things like that. And but of course they don't admit as the reason as to why. Why are things, not going back? Why are they not getting any better? They're admitting things like, neither party matters. Democrats and Republicans. They're both the same. They're both part of the deep state. Now, see, we've been saying these things for a very long time, but it made, it didn't mean anything to them because it didn't affect them. But why was that also? Because we were not growing. We were staying stagnant. Even once we were getting released from these chains, these mental chains, we would put the chains on ourselves and not read and not study and not grow. Because we still had the Gentiles, we had that mindset that we needed their approval. And that, if they don't approve it, then it must be bad. It was so funny because today, after work, was at the gym and went into the sauna and had a little interaction with a couple of the people that were in the sauna. Just wanted to share this because, like I said, these other nations, they don't know who they're going to run into anymore. I said, hey, all these people, these so-called black people that you think we're all into sports and that's all that we know is oh wow, look at the Steelers, look at look at the Raiders, and oh yeah, look at the Lakers are playing tonight. Oh yeah, the Golden State Warriors, they're gonna get their ring. I said, they think that that's all that we are. But they start having these conversations. Guy wanted to start talking about he's like, well man, the people are just they're blind and oblivious to all this stuff that's going on. I'm hoping that with this next election, people will start to make some better choices. I was like, well, what does it matter who? I said, what does it matter who you vote in? I said, things haven't changed no matter who's been in for the last few hundred years. And you probably weren't really expecting that. It's like one group will stab you in the chest and the other group will stab you in the back. But trust me, you're gonna get stabbed either way. And he probably didn't really know what to say as far as that was concerned. And then they're like, well, what about this stuff going on with Ukraine and all that? I said, well, before even with that, he was like, well, how do they get all these countries all over the world to all work together, and shut everything down and for these last couple of years and everything like that? And I said, well, the countries that were supposedly hated each other. I said, well, apparently they don't really hate each other. So apparently, I said they work well together. They worked well together just fine. I said they just put up a ruse to make it look like they hate each other, just like they do today. I said, look, I said they're giving money to the Ukraine hand over fist. Every week it's billions and billions of dollars. I said, you don't hear anything from either party about not giving them money. It's just like a rubber stamp. Now, whatever happened to the Republicans and how they were the party of, fiscal responsibility and this, and that, I says, neither of them are saying absolutely anything. So because things are not, I said things are not the way that they've been portrayed. He said, well, we've been giving money to, to Ish. He called him whatever. I said this whole time. I said, yeah, well, I said they've given them money the whole time. Why is that? That's something you should really be thinking about. What's the reason behind that? But then we started talking about religion. And I said, well, it doesn't really matter what religion. I said, you participate in. I said, they're all the same. You could have heard a pin drop in the sauna then. Because, they were talking about, Christians and more, morals. I said, what does it matter? I said, Christians, Catholics, I said, they're all the same. I said, they all come from the Catholic religion. I said, the word Catholic, I said, isn't even in the Bible. It just means universal. I said, how are you supposedly, the vicar of Christ, and you're the one that the Most High, has ordained to be the moral, the moral high ground, and you're supposed to be that example on the mountain. But he didn't even mention you in the Bible. You're not even mentioned. I said the word Christian, I said, is only in the Bible maybe 2 or 3 times. I said, trust me, the Christian they're referring to in the Bible has nothing to do with these churches here. Like I said, you could have still heard a pin drop because they had nothing to say. Except old boy was like, well, I know about this stuff because I'm an ordained pastor. I was like, yeah, that don't work no more, bruh. Trying to bust out titles, trying to use, I'm an ordained minister. So, therefore you got to listen to what I got to say. I said, yeah, right. I said, bruh, I went to school for that. I said, just because you're an ordained man, that doesn't mean anything. I said, I've been teaching for a very long time. He's like, well, there's these other books, like the book of Enoch, and then they haven't, they've hid that book. I said, well, who hid it? Who hid the book of Enoch? I said, the churches did. The Catholic Church, I said, they're the ones that hid the book of Enoch. I said, I've read the books of Enoch. I said, I also read Jasher, also read Jubilees. You should probably see his eyes got real big after that, because he might not even heard those books before. He's like, what the hell is this? Where the hell does this dude get this information from? Huh? Oh my God, the cat's out of the bag. These guys, I said, I'm trying to enjoy myself in the sauna. Usually, I'm sure in his mind he is going like, when I say I'm a pastor or I'm a minister, I'm an ordained, that usually shuts these Negroes down. I said, this dude just coming in with more information, stuff I hadn't even heard before. I said, yep. I said, oh yeah. I said, well, hey. I said, there's the Apocrypha. I said, there's 14 books right there. I said, that's why you can't get the prophecies right. I said, because you're hiding all these books. And I said, but the churches were the ones that set up the canonization process. So the same churches that, you guys are all talking about, you love so much, but then you're complaining that they're hiding information, is the same church you go to every weekend. The same church you give your allegiance to. At that point, I had to go ahead and just leave, because it was kind of getting hot in the sauna. I'm sure he's probably getting hot too. And but hey, we just kind of left some seeds there, left some nuggets, and we'll see what he does with the information. But trust me, this is happening all over the world. These guys are used to being able to have their conversations, and most of us just we didn't know anything, so we just were just quiet, didn't say much, or if we did say something, it probably didn't come out too well. It didn't come out, too intelligent, because we really didn't have a lot of this information. But now the Most High has blessed us with more knowledge, understanding, and we can slay the demons. So I'm sure some people are gonna probably go home and, they're gonna probably thinking about some of the things that were said, because there's a lot of stuff I'm sure they were never even heard of before. But those are the times that we're in right now. These kinds of interactions are happening all over the world. Most High is bringing out the knowledge everywhere. But this is something I want to share with you guys tonight. I'm share with the family tonight. Something real quick. I'm going to go over scripture here real fast. 2 Corinthians 10. We'll start around 2. The main thing I want to get into is 4. Okay? But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with a confidence, wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. See, that's what I'm saying. We're this is not a fleshly battle. This is a spiritual battle. And I think now that the Most High has opened up our eyes to see this, I think that's why we're starting to have these interactions. Most High is using us to have these interactions, and like, trust me, we're bringing out our swords. They're bringing out their little butter knives, and they're getting destroyed. Because those are the times that we're in right now. Before, their butter knives worked real well when we only had toothpicks. I said, but now the Most High has given us huge swords where we can go out there and we can be bold with it because the Most High has blessed us with knowledge and understanding. But check out 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. So again, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, okay, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of the strongholds. And that's it. Our weaponry is not carnal. And see, we're going to get into some information from the Voyager's book. And it's like when the churches have hidden all this information, they've just left these, verses out here so that they can interpret them however they want. And that doesn't work anymore. It worked for a long time when we were asleep, but it don't work no more. Most High is making these connections. So check this out from the Voyagers right here, the Secrets of Amenti. Okay? We're going to take a look right here at this one second. This is all we're going to look at right now tonight, okay? The D12 Planetary Security Seal, Planetary Shields, Clinics, and Crisis Intervention. If GA forces had demonstrated a show of power through orchestrating a mass contact drama to warn humans of the Anunnaki and draconian intentions, the Anunnaki intended to abort their desired outcome of strategically using humans to open the Amenti gates, and would settle instead for destroying contemporary humans via immediate pole shifts, okay, while capturing a few humans as potential enslaved gate code breeders. Now, what seems like is going on here is that there's a group that's been wanting to give us understanding about what's really going on with these Anunnaki. But the Anunnaki are kind of like, hey, if you let them know, if they find out exactly what's going on, we're going to just destroy all of them. So what I'm seeing is that in the Bible, they're leaving clues all over the place about this kind of stuff. Just like letting us know that our weaponry isn't carnal. It's a spiritual battle that's going on. Now, when we read some more, you're going to see how it makes these connections right here. It says the Anunnaki legions, as well as the Draconian legions, have long understood that if humanity became awakened, the fallen angelic Amenti Dominion plan would rapidly come to a screeching halt. Now take a look. As we get more understanding, their plans seem to be coming to a screeching halt. You're not seeing how this is all working out. And every time we get more information, every time the Most High blesses us with more information, their plans, go off the rails. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Like I said, every time we come up with some more information, the Gentile plans and whatever, that they had planned, whatever else, just goes off the rails. I told you, big events are coming. So as the Most High makes these connections, big events are coming. Now they're talking about the Russians getting ready to attack, Kiev, and they're getting ready to do shock and awe. They're getting the troops ready. They're pulling out the MiGs, and from storage, and they're getting ready to go to work. And I guess, I don't know, one of the big yucks or whatever else from Britain needed to have a conversation with his counterpart here in the America, and it's like they didn't even get on the phone. I said, because whatever they're about to talk about, they didn't want anybody to hear. So old boy had to fly over here to have a face-to-face. These are the, so they're making big plans. Said because the time clock is the Most High's chosen people, and they're awakening. And as we get more information, their plans are falling by the wayside. And this is something the Most High has put on me for the last couple weeks. Before I even saw this, I just barely saw this today. Okay, so again, the Anunnaki legions, as well as the Draconian legions, have long understood that if humanity became awakened, the fallen angelic Amenti Dominion plan would rapidly come to a screeching halt. Humanity, and we don't, we know who they're talking about when they're saying humanity. It ain't just everybody. Okay? Humanity has a hidden power within the DNA template through which the innate planetary stargate, okay, security codes can be used to trigger activation of a natural 12-dimensional planetary security seal within Earth's Templar, which is successfully erected, which if successfully erected would permanently protect Earth's portals and stargates from any further fallen angelic infiltration. Humans are the greatest threat to the fallen angelic agenda. And for this reason, they have gone to great lengths to ensure our genetically induced race amnesia. Like I said, this isn't everybody. So they keep saying humanity. They went out of their way so that the Israelites were going to lose their knowledge of who they were. You see, since you got to kind of read through, read around the hijack of certain things, and they got to say certain things as well. But it's up to us, through the Spirit, to get this understanding and to get this information and put it together. Okay. See, we know there's one group of people that is suffering from race amnesia. You are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Like I told you, in the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, they're leaving clues, and these clues, are substantiating what we're reading here in this book. Okay, so let's read that again. Humans are the greatest threat to the fallen angelic agenda, and for this reason, they have gone to great lengths to ensure our genetically induced race amnesia and our ignorance to the sacred science, physics, knowledge, through which humanity can regain its intended guardianship, okay, of Earth's Templar complex, Stargate system. Like I said, this stuff is deep. There's a lot of information, and they want you to think that everything's going to be written in one book. Come on now. The contemporary, let's see here, hidden battle with the fallen angelic ET legions cannot be won with external weapons and overt war. Like I said, our weapons are not carnal. That's what this is telling you right here. This is backing that up right here. So again, legions cannot be won with external weapons and overt war. The photosonic and photoradionic weapons capacities of the fallen angelic legions makes contemporary human weapons technologies appear as child's toys in comparison. Just like you see like those clips from Black Adam, and they're going into his area, and they're opening up their weapons and shooting them, and he's like, "Oh, your magic is weak." They're trying to use their weapons right now against someone that has vastly superior technological advance. He's way more advanced than anything you see here. That's why using these weapons are not going to be of any use whatsoever. That's why they can fly in with their UFOs and whatever else, and they can take over the base, take over the weapons that they have here, because the weapons here, they're not carnal weapons. Okay. So again, makes contemporary human weapons technologies appear as child's toys in comparison. In terms of the present conflict drama, a military stance on humanity's part is utterly useless, as humans are literally fighting invisible dragons and Anunnaki, a hidden adversary that cannot even be tangibly identified due to their superior interdimensional cloaking technologies. Technologically, we're goners. External technology is not the medium through which the contemporary playing field becomes leveled for fair play. Knowledge of genuine spirituality, okay, personal and planetary Templar mechanics, and the dynamics of human biology and DNA will be the deciding factors in this final conflict drama. In this regard, okay, the organic God-given brain and biological DNA are mightier than photosonic swords born of unnatural external technologies. Humans can, in the SAC of the present generation, okay, set this planet free. Hold on real fast. Okay? Set this planet free from 27,500 years of covert ET enslavement by effectively using their God given gifts of biology and spirit. And see, that's what they've been going out of their way to keep you from. Anything about the spirit, oh, hell no, that's witchcraft. That's magic. Anything about the chakras and anything about any of that kind of stuff, oh, now you see why. Because they don't want, that's going to hook you up with the spiritual stuff, okay, where your power is. And that's what they've been going out of the way to keep you out of. You see that right there confirms many of the things that we've been seeing. Now you see why when you start getting into other information, you get attacked. Why I got attacked so much for looking at other books, looking at other information, being open to wherever the Most High leads me. Because that's where the power is. So again, right there at the best, set this planet free from 27,500 years of covert ET enslavement by effectively using their God-given gifts of biology and spirit. Most High gave us power. Most High has blessed us. And now he's given this knowledge back to us once again. This is, like I said, this is an absolutely amazing time. So as we get more, expect to see bigger events affecting the Gentiles. Like it talks about them getting swept off the lands. There's a whole lot of lands that they're going to be getting swept off of. A whole lot of lands, that they've been working to keep us enslaved mentally and keep us from the amnesia so we didn't know who we were, keep us away from our records, keep us away from our information. So this just shows you where we're at right now. I mean, as you look at the other nations and you look at their videos, same things over and over again. Cesare is going to come save me. Cesare is going to come save me. Cesare, Cesare, Cesare. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Say this sinner's prayer. That's why you understand, like I said, they're simpletons. The other nations are simple. So therefore, they need to have a very simple breakdown of everything. Because they're not able to understand these deeper, these deeper tasks, these deeper, mindsets, and all these things that they need to actually start to learn, because they need a spirit. They need a spirit to get into this deep information. And if they don't have the spirit, they can't understand it. So therefore, they got to hide books, hide information, and oversimplify everything because it's not for them. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.